Hello! Mark here. I'm a partner at Snap Crackle Pop & Associates, and today I'll be offering a crash course in what happens when you get audited by the IRS. Americans are notorious for being afraid of three things: cancer, home invasions, and the IRS. This is how most people imagine an IRS audit going. It's just a regular Tuesday afternoon. You're sitting at home, reading the latest Jonathan Franzen novel, or catching up on My Strange Addiction.
Hi, my name is Ingrid. I'm from New York City, and I'm addicted to Vaseline. In addition to slathering my whole body with Vaseline 5 to 10 times a day, I also like to eat the Vaseline, and sometimes I like to put it in a cup and put it in the microwave and melt it down and drink the Vaseline. I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but my family does.
When all of a sudden, the doorbell rings. An IRS agent, dressed in a black suit and dark sunglasses, is standing on your front doorstep.
Surprise! I'm here to temporarily ruin your life and cost you money.
Rest assured, folks, barely 1% of individual earners are audited each year. In 2011, for instance, 144 million Americans filed tax returns, and of that number, a little over 1.5 million audits were conducted. You have a higher probability of being on a plane with a drunken pilot than you do of being audited by the IRS, so that should make you feel better. Usually, an audit comes in the form of a letter, politely requesting backup documentation to help resolve a discrepancy between a tax document that was received and what you put on your return. Either you send them the documentation or the discrepancy amount, and they go away. Crisis averted, at least until next year. Sometimes the IRS will conduct a full-scale audit, where they are examining several issues on your return. Typically, you will receive a letter requesting you make an appointment to meet with an agent. The letter will also include the issues the IRS wants to look at. At the appointment, you bring in whatever records the IRS has requested. Then, an agent will look at the documents and come to one of three conclusions. 1. That you're fine. 2. That you get a refund. Ka-ching! 3. That you owe. If your worst nightmare comes true and you owe, you can either pay it or file an appeal. The IRS will issue a decision on your appeal, and if you still disagree, your remaining option is the tax court. A few last notes, folks. Usually, the IRS only conducts audits when they find an obvious discrepancy and are confident that the audit will result in a tax bill. In other words, if you are audited, it's very likely you will have to pay additional money for taxes. Which leads me to point number 2. If you do get audited, it's important to remember that IRS agents are regular people. Like you, they also read Jonathan Franzen and watch My Strange Addiction. They have children, pets, and in-laws who they don't get along with. They eat, they sleep, sometimes they sleep with each other. They're human beings, so there's really no reason to fear them. Unless, of course, you knowingly committed tax fraud. Then I would suggest finding yourself a damn good attorney. There are over 150 kinds of civil penalties in the U.S. Internal Revenue Code, ranging from fines to prison, depending on the severity of the offense. So there you have it, your crash course in what happens when you get audited by the IRS. My advice, keep careful track of all your finances. Audits are unpleasant, but they're a lot more bearable if you have accurate records. And don't worry about it too much either. Remember the law of attraction. The more you think about something, the more likely it is to occur. Now, if only I could get Ruby to go on a date with me.
Breaking it.